Well, hello, my beautiful Scorpios. Wow, it's been a long time since I've been in your energy, and I appreciate it. So I'm back on YouTube. My goal this year is to do YouTube again full time. I, like you, have been closing out cycles, and as you know, Pluto is about to hit Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarius ascending. So, or it is hitting Aquarius, sorry. Um, so I decided because I'm doing a Pluto series, and you may want to go watch that. This talks about the trauma, the obsessions, and I can see your past life, present life, future lives in this. So I wanted to know, okay, because Pluto's so prominent in my chart, so is Saturn, that I wanted to know exactly what the trauma, not exactly, but a lot of what the traumas are in these houses, a lot of what we're carrying, but not just that. I wanted to know how to get out of each one of them, how to let go of the baggage, how to stop these cycles of generational traumas and the traumas that we had in the childhood and all that stuff. So I took about 2 weeks and channeled for this. So I'm releasing those slowly. It's really, really heavy, and I'm an Aquarius, so I can cut off the emotions if I need to. But I knew for this, I couldn't. I had to like feel everything, see everything, right? You guys are practiced in going through the trauma and feeling it and understanding it. And I'm not. I have my safe space where I can cut it off. But for this, I couldn't cut it off. So I'm not practiced like y'all are practiced. I'm not a warrior in that way of emotions like y'all are. I just happen to have a talent to be able to like compartmentalize and put it to the side. But with this, I couldn't do that. I had to do you. I had to like be a Scorpio, channel my Scorpio side and like let it flow. And so I needed a break. So I decided to do full moon, tarot, and a little bit of astrology. So all that to say, go watch my Pluto series. It's coming out as it comes out because I need to take breaks. I'm not like you. I'm not the master at emotions like that and dealing with the dark, deep traumas like that. Like I deal with it in a different way. I don't deal with it. Y'all have this like gift to like go into the emotion and navigate it. I had to step into my Scorpio side to do that. And that ain't fun. That is not fun. So I need a break. So all that to say, go watch that. What you want to look for is, hold on a second. You want to look for in your natal chart when you were born. That's like the universe took a picture and said, "There you go. There's where all the planets are, all the stars are." It's like a roadmap for you of the things that will be coming up in your life. So Pluto is one of them. Pluto is a generational planet. Pluto deals with your fears, your traumas, your obsessions, and all of that. And for you, if you were born as a Scorpio ascending, then Pluto is going to be in your fourth house, transiting your fourth house. It just transited your third house, but it's a big transit for the globe, the world, humanity, um, socially, community, and personally. And these are big transitions. They take a while because, Capricorn, Pluto was in Capricorn for 15 years, 16 years. And it's going to go back one more time. And then it's going to go back into Aquarius for the last time where it stays there for 20 years in November. All that to say, because it's so prominent right now, because this transition is so prominent, I wanted to understand, all right, enough with the BS. What is it? How do we get through it? What's going on with it? I need some practical ways to do it, right? So I'm going to share that with you. But for this video, we're talking about the new moon, which is in your fourth house. So I'm going to tell you right now, your third house, your fourth house, and your fifth house are activated. Those of you that don't know much about astrology, but kind of are interested in astrology, that's why I'm doing it this way. I want to make you more familiar with the planets, the houses. We can talk about the ways they talk to each other later, but this is my way of sort of introducing you to astrology. So, to find your, what we call natal Pluto, which means that's where Pluto was when you were born. You can go to astro.com. It's free. I have my own software, but you can go to astro.com. It's free. You plug in your numbers of your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location, and then you'll get a natal chart. So when we're talking about natal chart, this is the chart that you were born with. This is, again, the universe took a picture and said, here you go. This is your roadmap. This is the themes that will be going on. It is up to you and your choice whether you want to deal with them or not. That's up to you. But this is what's going to be happening for you. Okay? And there's a lot to look at. Then we have the transit, what we call the transit chart or the transit. And that's when, even after you were born, the planets still move, everything still moves, you still move. And so where Pluto is today may not be where he was exactly when you were born. So that's a transit. So when you look at these videos of my Pluto series, you want to look at your natal chart, which is the Pluto. Look for this symbol, Pluto, where he is in your chart, in your natal chart. And that's the video of the house that you want to look in. And then you look to your Aquarius house, and wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart, that's the symbol for Aquarius. So wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart will tell you where Pluto is now. Okay? And that's the house you're going to look at for what's going to be happening and coming up for you in the next 20 years. That makes sense? So, and there are two different things with Pluto. It'll be bringing up different stuff in your natal part than in your transit part. Okay? So, because your fourth house is what we call activated, it's lit up, they're talking to each other, things are happening in there. Your fourth house, because this is you, Scorpio 1, 2, 3, 4. Your fourth house has this major transit with Mercury, so you should have gotten word. And then you have this new moon, which is, and they're all in Aquarius, which is, it's going to be weird. It's going to be eccentric. It's not going to come in the way it usually comes in. You're going to see things a little differently. Time is not a variance in this. It's very different. Okay. But your fourth house is about your DNA, about your generation, about your lineage, about how you see yourself in conjunction with where you came from. You know, it's that space where you're like, you look at your family, you're like, how come I don't act the way that they act? How come I don't do the things that they do? How come I believe something different than they believe in? But you had the childhood with them, and you always thought you were different. You always knew you were, or you always knew a better way, or for some of you in the beginning, when you were a child, you may not have questioned it, but now you probably will question it. And these next 20 years, things will be coming up there. Okay? So, for the new moon in Aquarius in your fourth house, this, for you, I would focus on your manifestation of how you want to see your self having the family. Did I say that right? Like, you know that you came here to change things for your generation, for your generational ancestors, right? You have that innate understanding. You don't know how you're supposed to do it. You don't know if you're going to do it. But this is what this next 20 years is going to be about. And you guys may have heard, because Mercury is right here, that about how things are starting. Because these are new cycles that are going on. Everything that's coming up in the next month is going to be a new cycle. It's like the universe, God, whatever, is showing you this is what your themes are going to be about, and this is what you wanted to work on, and you wanted to understand better about yourself, and you wanted to help with for your life here on Earth. Okay? So, but in your third house, you had been working on your skills. So a lot of you got new jobs. A lot of you got back into the job. A lot of you started new businesses. A lot of you got some really great opportunities to hone your skills, the communication skills, the way that you do things, your everyday travel stuff. Like, okay, now I have a job that I go to every day. Maybe you were having a lot of trouble with your siblings during this time when Pluto and this is a 16-year transit, all that has changed for you. And now you're moving into the generational stuff. Now you're moving into where your children are, where your grandparents and your aunts and your uncles, and the way that you do things and the way that you see that your children are doing things. That's going to be coming up for you. So because the new moon is about manifesting and kind of heading in the direction that we want to direct our life instead of it directing us, you've understood through this third house how to take charge again. Because when this, no, not when it started, not in 2008. Some of y'all started in 2008, but during this cycle, you had a lot of shock happen. You had a lot of things that were blown up in your face, and you had loss too. And it caused you to see things in a, oh God, I'm seeing two things. Some of you, it caused you to see no one's coming. You have to do this. And that's a memory from your childhood. And then the other, it caused you to see, I'm not going to let these things stop me. I need to actually re-engage back in life. Does that make sense to you? Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling both. So now that you've got that handled, now that you grew up in a way, not that you weren't grown before, because a lot of you are old souls, but now that you grew up, now that you saw the reality of situations, it's going to be moving into the next area where, do I want to continue this generational curse, like why my family does the things and what all the trauma is about? Like, you guys have a lot of trauma, a lot. Scorpios, I've always said this, you've had a lot of trauma. And for a lot of you, you did not know how to get through it or thought that you got through it by putting it to the side and just focusing on something else. But this is all being brought up in your fourth house. So you're looking at, how do I, or am I supposed to change where my lineage is heading? Yeah. Am I seeing it in my children and my family, as opposed to where they were and what's been holding us back for a long time? And I think that's why you're old souls, because you are actually changing this. Like you are the soul. You guys are the souls that can look at it in that way, where you're like, I see the possibilities for my lineage, my children, for my grandchildren. And I see what held us back and what traumas we've had to endure and what traumas I had to endure and how it jaded people, and then they didn't have the education, they didn't have the know-how, and they didn't have the experience, but I do. And I can change this. And so what if I fucked up early? It can still be changed. Does that make sense to you guys? Now, your fifth house is also activated. So with this new moon, it's starting the new cycle. Where are you going to, so I'm going to back up from this, sorry. With this new moon, it's the new cycle. You'll start seeing manifestations of it, of this new moon, like within a month or two. But it's just like a step one, okay? But it's almost like, how do I say this? It's almost like, because you decided to engage back in humanity, because you decided to do your part, because you decided to take up the sword, basically, in the third house, and hone your skills and get back into it and help people and do the thing and and learn new things and all that stuff, right? Then it's almost like you have a blank slate, and you're going to understand that you don't have to have all the answers to be able to change your generation, to be able to change your DNA, to be able to change the way that y'all do things, to be able to change your traditions, okay? Yeah, so because of that, I want you to focus on, if you saw your family without all the trauma, if you saw your family, like some of you can think of an uncle or an aunt, if they just didn't have that trauma, how would they act? And some of you can think about your children, if they just didn't have that trauma, how would they act? That's what I want you to be envisioning and feeling. I want you to feel that, because I want you to direct know that you can direct your life in the way that you want. I know that you know how to do it physically. Like if you want money or if you want things, you know how to get that, right? But I want you to, it's almost like you feel like you're hindered because of the trauma, that you don't have any control over that. Now, I just spent, what, 5 minutes in the very, very beginning of this video saying, you guys are the masters at going into the emotion and then sort of harnessing it and getting through it, okay? So you can do this, but it's almost like as much as you can do this, you stunt yourself when it comes to the trauma of it. So this is about transmuting that trauma, and I want you to think about and feel, what would your life look like in the lives of your grandchildren and your children and that further, but not just them, you too. You have to include yourself. What would I feel like not having the mental burden, not having the emotional burden, not having that? Put yourself in that space and feel that, because it's going to direct your new moon. Now, this is Aquarius. It's going to be very different than you've ever felt. It's going to be very different. It's going to be very different than you've ever felt in this lifetime. I'll say that. But you think out of the box, thinking like, okay, I haven't done this before. That's Aquarian. Aquarian will progress you. It will just do it in a way that you don't realize. It'll do it in a way that you never saw coming. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go up to Saturn. Saturn is putting form to the formless. So Pisces is formless, Saturn is form. Saturn is restriction, Saturn is father time. Okay? But Aquarius is the master of time. Okay? So Saturn in your fifth house tells me, because you are going to be clearing, getting through, transmuting this trauma right now and for the next 2 years, you have to really take a look at your relationships, the ones like your love relationships, and not just relationships, but the way that you love yourself and the things that you enjoy about this life. That's Saturn. It wants to put form to the formless, right? So it's going to be asking you for the next, it's already been for this year, this last year. But for the next 2 years, it's going to say, if this is what you want, you have to show me you're responsible for it. So no more playing games with people's hearts. And no more playing games with your own heart. And no more playing games with the things that you used to play games with. That's what it's asking you to do. And that's what it will be asking you to do for the next 2 years. And then because you're going, and this all ties together, because you're understanding, oh, I do that, or I think that way, or I think I can get one up on somebody, or I messed with them because they messed with me first, you're trying to stop that cycle. You're trying to stop all that. And if you should already have to focus on it because Pluto's already in your fourth house, but that's what you're going to be understanding. And when that happens, this is going to be relieved too. Okay? So you will find a better space where there is love, where people love you and you don't have to worry about, are they going to lie to you? Are they going to betray you? Are they going to do you wrong? Are they all of that? That's what Saturn's asking you to do in that house. So just know that for the next 2 years, you're going to be working on that stuff. This part of your chart is highlighted, whether you're ascending, sun, or moon. If you're ascending, it's coming in the physical way, and emotional way, and mental way. Like, it comes in all ways if it's in your ascending. If it's your sun this is Scorpio. If it's your sun that's Scorpio, then you will see it, okay? And it's going to be bright, and it's going to like really cause you to fear, and really cause the trauma to come out, and really all of that. And if it's in your moon, if your moon is Scorpio, then you're going to feel it, and it'll cause you to see things in a very different way. It's going to flip it on you, okay? That's the best way I can describe it. I don't want to scare you. I do want you to look at my Pluto series, because that's really going to help you get through this Pluto, and really going to help you get through this house, really going to help you get through your transition. Yeah, because y'all have had enough trauma. Y'all don't need any more. Seriously. Like, It's almost like the trauma that's come to you, and I'm not saying that it's like, I'm not trying to like poo-poo it or anything. I'm just saying it's because it's such a cycle. It needs to stop, and y'all can do it. You're the ones to do it. You're the ones your family's been waiting for. You're the one. Like, do you really believe that? Because you are, and you have to do this. Okay? Nobody. I mean, y'all learned this in the third. Nobody's coming for you. You're gonna do this. You're the one that's coming. You're the one. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to do, I hope that helps. Now I'm going to do the tarot. So here we go. All right. So I already pulled 4 cards. This is my own spread. I already pulled 4 cards. This is your foundation. This is where you're at. Y'all are soaring. And then this is the energy that's coming towards you. And then this is what's holding you back. This is what some people would say blocking you, right? So blocking you, what's holding you back, what's standing in your way, right? And then this is your outcome. This is the outcome. So in your first position, you have the 8 of Wands. So I see things are going really, really well. I see that you're leveling up. I'm seeing that you actually see it. Like, not only did in these last 16 years did y'all get a new career, a new job, and even if you got laid off, y'all are the ones that are getting the jobs again. Like, I'm seeing y'all have luck like that right now because y'all have worked really hard in this third house over the last 16 years. Like, y'all stood up. Y'all were like, yeah, I'm no one's coming, I'm doing it, right? You do what you have to do, but you actually did it. So I'm seeing that y'all are during this, like recently, because this is for the new moon. Recently, you guys got not too far, like maybe 2 months, a month. You got better positions or more pay, and that's crazy because everybody's with the economy and blah blah blah. Blah. Now y'all. I'm not saying you're not having a hard time. I'm just saying y'all have the luck. But honestly, it's not luck. It's because y'all freaking did it. That's what it is. So for others, it could be travel. It could be, I'm seeing gaining a job that causes travel too. So this to me is you leveling up. This to me is you soaring. This to me is the things that you work so hard for in the last 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 10 years. Like, that's all coming about now because you're about to start new phases. So that's your foundation. That's a good place to be in. Actions need to be taken, decisions need to be made, and you're like, you make them. You're not even afraid. No, you're not even afraid. And then where you're headed, the energy that's coming to you, the energy that's coming towards you, and the energy you're going, some people call it to say, it's jumping this timeline, okay? So whatever you call that, is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles, you guys should have heard word about starting something new. That's the energy that's coming. So either you just heard it, you're about to hear it, or you heard it about a week ago, 3-4 days ago. But and the timing could be off. I had guys said no, it's 3-4 days ago. Okay, 3-4 days ago. Anyway, this is news of either you're getting your accolades, you're getting more money, you're getting the stability, this is something because it's a pentacle, something that you had wished for, something that you had wanted, something that you had thought you worked for and thought you lost, but you got it. Okay, so you should be hearing this. I'm not even going to, because that guide is like 3 or 4 days. Like, I don't know why they're being adamant 3 or 4 days ago, or it just happened, or it's about to happen. Okay. And then what's holding you back, what's standing in your way is, and I can't even fault you for this. Like, I would be so much worse. I'm telling you, it took a lot for me to like not detach from those emotions that I had to go in every one of those houses. Like, I have to go back in them and tape every one of those houses to release the Pluto series for you guys. But the 5 of Cups is showing me, you see how you have the 2 cups standing up? and then you're looking at the cups laying down. You're not even focused on what you have. And like that's why I was saying, I would probably be worse. Like you're looking at what you've lost when you go into those deep, dark places. You're looking at what you've lost, but you have to remember what you have. Okay? Because this is a habit you have. And you have been through a lot. Like I can't even imagine trying to get out of what you lost, or how people betrayed you, or how things were done to you, or like the horrors that I've seen for you guys. It's not, I don't even want to talk about it anyway, because it upsets me, because it pisses me off how y'all were treated. But you focusing on this is not going to break the generational curse. It's not going to change the chains. It's not going to break the chains. It's not going to break the way that it's always been done, or the best way you knew how to do it. It's not going to break that if you continue to focus on this. You've got to focus on, it starts with what you have. It starts with the little thing. And y'all know if you know me, my cousin is a Scorpio who I love to death, and she loves me. But like, she has this beautiful way. I don't even know if I've ever told her this, but this is bringing this up. She has this beautiful way of finding the beauty in the smallest thing. She's just this beautiful old soul. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do with this. Like, just start with you, or what's around you that's so beautiful, in the way that you know how to do this, in the way of stepping into that dreamy, emotional goodness that you can see when nobody else can see it. You can see it. Okay? That's what's holding you back. If you will just focus on that instead of that, that will get your energy going in the right direction to continue this, because you want to continue being here, right? And with this new start. And then your outcome is the Seven of Swords. So this and this go together, I think. I think when you learn to let go, and I mean, I don't want to say let go, because most people would say let go. I want you to transmute it. That's what you're trying to do. Transmute all this old crap. Like, transmute it. See the love, the beauty, the opposition within of what's happened to you, or where you're at, or what's been done to you, so that you can transmute it. And I guess let it go, but I would see it as transmutation. So it looks like you do focus on the better things and the way that you want, because the Seven of Swords says, you're learning how, or this is where you're going to stand. You're learning how to protect what you want and let go of the rest. Not try to seek revenge, not try to do things the way that was done before, but actually transmute that energy so that you no longer have to carry that baggage. That, to me, is what the Seven of Swords is that you take your experiences, you take your stuff, and you protect it, and you fight for it, and you let go of that other energy, because the other energy is just dragging you down. Or I say transmute it, but some people may look at it as, okay, I got to let go of this other stuff. It's not going to change, but I'm going to change, and I'm going to make the difference, and I'm going to take what I have. Does that make sense? All right, my beautiful souls. Thank you so much for letting me be in your energy. I really appreciate it. Again, not all the Pluto series is out, but a lot of them are. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate when you guys do that. And because I'm trying to get back on YouTube, it helps out. So I love you, love you, love you. Bye.